What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I am coming back to y'all today to give y'all a WIP update. It's been a long time since I've done a video. I know I've been MIA for a while, but that is because, as with what happened in 2024, in early 2025 this year, I found myself right around the end of winter, beginning of spring, my stitchy bug decides to fly off. So I really didn't have a desired stitch for a while. And then I guess maybe a few weeks ago, I did finally get a chance to pick it back up again. And I've been working pretty good on some things. So, I have a pile to show y'all here, which I'm going to get into here in a second. There's not going to be any haul in this video because no stitchy bug also means haven't really wanted to buy anything either. So, there's not going to be any haul. I did, however, have to buy one skein of thread at Michael's because I needed it, because it was missing from a project. Sorry. So let's get into it. Hopefully I don't end up coughing a lot, because I did just a little bit ago. I did also film a video for my other channel, which is Southern Simple. I do a lot of hauls over there and just some life stuff, not much. But if you're interested in that, feel free to go check it out. Like I said, the name of the channel is Southern Simple. So go check me out over there. I feel like I'm gonna have to go ahead and get a drink. So I'm gonna have to put y'all on pause for a second before I get into the actual update. And I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. Hold on. It'll be like half a second for y'all. Alright, drink acquired. Got my cup. This is a cup that we got in... This was our cup we got in the swag at the Queen City Treat last year. And I didn't really use it that much at the time, because everybody was using it to drink like plain ice water out of, and I'm not a plain water kind of person. So in my cup today, we have just some, it's raspberry black tea, drink, just squirt from the squirt bottle from Walmart. Really good. I'm all for a flavored tea. But I've been digging using this for the last couple weeks. I've been trying to drink more water. I've been trying my best to limit my caffeine and my sugar these last couple of weeks, because I'm getting older, and my weight's not getting any better. I'm trying to do something about that. And I refuse to take the Ozempic and all that stuff. I refuse to do that. But I've been trying to at least limit my sugar and my caffeine, because I have a feeling that I'm starting to get into perimenopause over here. Because I'll be fine. Like, it'll be cool in here. I'll go to bed. My body will be cool, but my face will start getting flushed. My face alone will start getting hot. I don't know. I start to feel that way. So, I'm going to show y'all what I've been working on. This may or may not be in any particular order. I apologize. Since y'all have last seen me, we have moved. A little bit of an update. We have moved. My mom, I don't know if have been with the channel for a while, but my mom had to go into a care facility. She's still there. She's still alive. Unfortunately, with dementia, it's not one of those things that gets any better. So there is still a decline. And I feel like her time is starting to run a little bit shorter now. Like, there's not much time. But she's in the care facility. She's been in the care facility since the beginning of the year. I think I talked about that in my last video, which might have been in like February, I think. I don't remember when my last video was. But so because her house, we are currently in what was her house, and it technically still is. It's still the deed is still in her and my stepdad's name. They had a reverse mortgage, and basically the only way you can get out a reverse mortgage is to pay off the balance. And the balance at the time that we paid it, we sold our house, we sold our property, or it was my boyfriend's property. We sold that property in South Carolina, and we moved here to this house, which is in North Carolina, which is really only about 40 minutes away from the old place. And so we sold that property, got just enough for that property, considering it was not in ideal condition. It was bought by an investor, and he's been fixing it up. And I think his niece was going to move into the trailer. His niece was going to be moving and living in the trailer that we were living in. But we rode by there a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week or so ago, and they were still remodeling the inside of that trailer. So we've been kind of keeping up with it slowly, and it's been like 4 months since we moved. So they're remodeling it slowly. They're starting to get things fixed up a bit. I'm pretty sure she was going to be moving into the trailer, and I don't know what they were going to do with the main house that's on the property. It is two separate pieces of land, technically. So if they wanted, if the niece wanted to live in the trailer and rent out the house, she could perfectly do that if she wanted to. I don't know what their plans are. It's not up to us anymore. But we have been living in this house since then. Since like the very, very end of February, early March. I think our closing date was technically March the 3rd, or the 4th. And so, but we actually started staying here that week prior, so that we could slowly kind of finish getting everything out. And it was a rush to the end, y'all. But we are in that house now. We've been here since then, and I think it's really working out for us. Andy seems to be enjoying it more. There's not as much property to keep up with. It's a smaller yard. There is a fenced-in backyard back there. We're going to get Abby maybe a swing or some kind of play set down the road. She's 4.5 now, going on 13. The attitude and the sassiness is definitely big with this one. I'm sorry. I'm sitting at the drafting table that I was using to do diamond painting. It was at the old house. It was actually sitting behind the couch there at the end. And it's a glass drafting table, and it's sitting flat now, obviously, but there's like a metal piece here on the front, and I keep hitting it. So if you hear a metal clanking, that's what that is. But we're enjoying the house a lot. This is actually a spare bedroom. It's a 3-bedroom house, and we technically only need to use 2 of them to sleep in. So Abby's room, you see that wreath right there? That would be the door to Abby's room. So Abby sleeps in that room. She's on the back side of the house. This is the front side of the house. The drafting table is set up right in front of the window, which is perfect for filming. It's perfect for like doing any diamond painting, which I have been wanting to try to do a little bit of diamond painting these days. I haven't had a chance to do it yet because there's one in particular that I'm searching for. There's one in particular that I want to start, but I'm thinking it's still at the storage unit in a huge tote. So until we can get by the storage unit and get that, I'm just going to hold off. and I'm just going to focus on my stitching. So, like I said, this is the craft room. That back there, that is a new shelf that we bought because before we moved, when Abby came along, I had to put all of my projects, you can probably see it a little bit, these totes down here. There are 2 totes there. I had to put all my projects in those 2 totes. But I decided after we moved here that I did like how it was like on the shelves. So we bought another shelf because I don't know what we did with the old one. I think it got tore up, or we thought we weren't going to use it, so we got rid of it. So we bought another shelf. Just got this from Walmart. It was like 26 bucks. And I have all my projects there. Projects. There's a couple of full coverage projects down here. I don't do full coverage that much. There's a few full coverage projects down here. Along with some other this and that stuff down there. There's a jar there that we got at StitchCon last year. And I'm going to use that as an art jar at some point. I don't know what I'm going to do with that jar yet, but it's down there. And there's some just like other knick-knack stuff down there. This right here, let me move out the way just a little bit. That's my thread drawers right there, as you can see. We're still trying to figure out where to put those. This back here, where you see the little gray tote looking things, that's my fabric storage. That's where I keep all my fabric. I have it by count, by count, by type. Yeah, by count and by type. Like Adas are going to be on the bottom because I use those less. Even weaves are in the middle. I don't really use even weaves that much, but those are in the middle. And then all my linens are here along the top. So, I did try to use, I had bought a separate unit. It had wheels. It was like a cart thing. And it had drawers. It was like a variegated lighter purple on the top, and then as you went down, it got darker, like a darker purple on the bottom. And then there were 10, like, somewhat larger, deeper drawers. There were 5 on each side. There were 10 drawers. I started to use that, but that cart was so wobbly. It was kind of rickety. It was kind of cheap, even though I got it from Temu, and it wasn't cheap, money-wise. But it was cheaply made. I didn't like it, so I went back to that. Luckily, that cube shelf and those we brought with us, and they were still there to use, so I used them again. I don't know if you can see, there's a filing cabinet right there. That's where I keep all of my patterns. I will show y'all that again one day. You can see better now. The top shelf is patterns. The second shelf there is like magazines, which I'm thinking about destashing. I haven't decided that yet because I don't really stitch a lot out of magazines, but I do like having them if I want to go through them and look for like a small design or something to stitch up. And then you can't see them, but the third drawer down is kits, like actual kits, like dimensions and all that stuff. And then the one on the bottom is where I've put a few projects that I've kitted up myself that are in like special project bags and whatnot. So I will go and show y'all that eventually. I feel like I'm too high. But yeah, enough talking. If you are new here, my name is Talia. I know I should have said all this before. My name is Talia, and I am 47 years old. I live in North Carolina now, kind of outside Charlotte, but we're a good ways outside of Charlotte. We're a good, like, hour outside of Charlotte. And I do have 3 kids. I have 2 older ones from a prior relationship. My oldest just turned 30 in June last month. My youngest is 27. She was living in Georgia. She had to she had to basically emergency move down back here to North Carolina, or technically she's staying in South Carolina with her brother. And it's not a situation I don't want to go into, but it was an emergency situation that she had to hurry up and move back. And she does have 5 kids. Unfortunately, she had to move back without them for the time being, but that's something that's being worked on. And I also do have a youngest one. She is a lot younger than my other ones. My youngest is 4. She's 4.5 technically. She is quite the handful, especially for a couple of middle-aged Gen Xers. She's a very sweet little girl. She's very kind-hearted, very friendly, loves to talk, loves to play, but she can be a handful. But like I said, she's a very sweet little girl. And that is, her dad is my boyfriend now. And she is his first and will be only child. So, a little introduction about me. I have been stitching for a long time. I was first introduced to stitching when I was like 12. But my grandmother literally just briefly introduced me to stitching. I did stitch off and on in my teens, very sporadically. Had started a sampler, some little baby announcement thing when I was pregnant with my oldest. Never finished it. I would pull it out for a little while and stitch on it for a little while and get bored of it, put it away for 5 or 10 years and pick it up again. That never got finished. The last time I saw it, I had to go ahead and throw it away because it had gotten dirty and I was never going to finish it. But I finally picked up stitching again regularly. I want to say 2015 or 2016. And believe it or not, I have been on Flosstube since about that long. It's hard to believe. But my subscriber count is very slow to grow. Sorry, I've been doing a lot more talking today than I'm used to. So my throat's getting kind of irritated. So, let's get into stitching right now. Let's go and get into stitching. I was working on the Fox and Rabbit 2024 SAL. I didn't start the 2025 SAL. I wasn't sure about the seam of it. The ones that I've seen are gorgeous, and that might be a SAL that come December, I will go ahead and save the pattern as the whole pattern, in case I decide later on to stitch it. But I actually already have another one of their SALs also on the go, and I didn't want to start too many of them because I'm terrible at starting. I'm terrible at keeping up with SALs. Of course, this metal piece right here is going to be an issue because my needle minders are going to keep trying to get stuck on it. So, and y'all, I promise I'm up as high as I can get in this chair. I'm up as high as I can get in this chair, and it still feels like it's kind of low. Like I need to see if he can possibly lower this desk down any. I don't know. The desk feels kind of high, as you can tell. Like yeah, it's right here. But I'm gonna try to find a picture of the last time you saw it. Last time I did a video. So if I did, it's gonna be up here. This is where it's at now. This here still needs to be frogged out because that was my first start attempt, and I didn't like the colors. I felt a little overwhelmed with trying to choose different colors. So I decided on a monochrome, And I am using this in a sulky, this is supposed to be a sulky 12 weight cotton. I was stitching on it for a while, and I've stitched on it since I've been here, but I did not know where in the world that spool of thread has gone. I have no idea. It has completely disappeared, poof, vanished in the thin air somewhere. So that's why this is sitting in the project bag until I can find that spool of sulky. It's gonna have to just be patient and wait till I find that thread again. So this is where it's at now. This lighting is awesome, y'all. I'm loving this lighting. Perfect. It's perfect for showing off cross stitch projects. As you can see, it is like a dark purple, which is showing up really good. I don't remember what the color is. I'm gonna have to go back and see. I'm gonna have to go back and look it up. But it is one of the sulky 12 weight threads. Initially, I got like a small spool of it in the boxes that you can get that have all the different colors in it. And I realized that was not going to be near enough, so I had ordered a full spool of it from 123 Stitch. And like I said, I have no idea where it's gotten to. I've stitched on this since we've been in this house, but within these last couple of weeks, I've completely lost it. I have no idea where it's gone. But yeah, that's where it's sitting at now. Beautiful sampler. This is just on, it's an 18 count something or other. It's like a beige fabric that I had in my stash. Loving that. And the sulky thread is a pretty solid dye, so I don't really have to worry about stitching one X at a time. I usually do, especially when I'm stitching something like Quakers. But if I needed to, like, say, half stitch across and then come back, I don't worry too much about any kind of variegation or anything, because it's a solid thread. Oh. So next, I'm trying to think what to show y'all next. I did set up goals for WIP Go and for Year of WIPs. WIP Go is the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. It's like a bingo board, and you set up goals on in all of the squares, and then every month she'll call two numbers for the following month's numbers. Every month she calls two numbers, and you either complete the goals then, or you can complete the goals before that point or after that point. But the goal obviously is to get a bingo by completing your goals on the projects. So that one is actually on Year of WIPs. Year of WIPs is the brainchild of Melanie Watkins, who is also known as a Soulful Stitcher. She has a group here on here. She has a group on Facebook. But she is Melanie Watkins, Soulful Stitcher, I think, on YouTube. She has Flosstube. And the long and short of that is however many for the year, because she's done this for the last several years, you pick so many WIPs that you want to finish that year, and your goal is to get at least half of those, to actually finish half of those. And then if you do finish at least half of those WIPs, then you can be entered in to win a giveaway at the end of the year. I think making these goals, creating these goals for myself is what is chasing away my stitchy bug these last few years, because it never fails. Like the last couple of years in spring, either late winter or early spring, I will lose my stitchy bug. I don't know if it has anything to do with notification, sorry. I don't know if it has anything to do with the goals, or if it's just the seasonal thing, or if it's just been because we've gotten really busy. And I've had trouble finding the time to stitch with having Abby. So I don't know. It's happened the last couple of years. It happened last year, and it happened this year again. So we'll see if it happens again in 2026. But I am trying to keep my goals minimal because I'm not really a goal stitcher. I just stitch for the fun of stitching. So the next thing I'm working on, this was, I think this was a goal on my WIP Go, maybe. Actually, I can tell you. I have my WIP Go board here. Might have left my glasses on, y'all. Yes, this was a goal, and I've already met my goal on my WIP Go board for this. It's up here, but it hasn't been called yet, so my goal's already met on that. So this is the 2020 Pandemic Sampler by Sarcy Girl, and she is Sarcy Girl on Instagram. You can still get this for free. If I can find a picture, I will put it up, show y'all where I was last time. But I do remember, I can just show y'all. This is where it's at now. But literally the only thing I've put in is this house. I started working on the house, or one of the houses. There's this one that's red, and then there's another one of identical size and shape on the opposite side. This house is huge. And I put in 1,031 stitches, right? 1,031 stitches. I also don't usually count stitches unless it's for a specific goal. So, and my goal on most of these projects on my WIP Go board is 100 stitches. Unless there's a specific like little motif or a section that I want to finish. But I'm not worried as much about my WIP Go board as I am about Europe WIPs. So I stitched on this one for a while. This is on 40 count. I want to say it's bedrock. Hold on. I have it here. Yes. 40 count bedrock from Be Stitch Me. This was a restart. I did initially start it on a piece of 40 count linen that I dyed in that dark gray color, like she suggested. I didn't like it. I had started like with the border and I didn't like it. So I restarted on this fabric in the center. And I'm loving this so much more. So that is where I've gotten to on that. I fully intend on putting these projects away now that I've shown them to you. And now that they're back on a shelf, they're a lot easier to just pull in and out. So next, I also stitched a little bit. This was a WIP Go goal as well, I think. Yes, this was a WIP Go goal. And this was called in March. But I completed this last month in June. I did 938 stitches on this. This was a WIP I've had for a very long time. This is called Big Ass Sampler. And I picked it because one, it's really pretty sampler. But I did like the quote. When I initially got this, sorry, I'm trying to keep from the glare. When I first got this, I thought the quote was cute. But having my daughter now, I don't know if I'm going to do that quote. I might try to find something else that'll fit in there that's kind of cute and whimsical. And I will input a picture of where it was when I started, because I think I took a picture before I started working on this one. So I got a little bit more on the border. I came down and did some more here on the side. I know that much. And I filled in some more of the colors, because there's a lot of color changes in this border. And that's actually like, that's 2 different colors, believe it or not, just in what I've done. So, super cute. This is on a 16 count, I think, just a 16 count ivory. It's either ivory Ada or antique white. This was another one that I restarted like a couple years ago because I wasn't happy with my initial start. And I need to change this envelope out. I hate these envelopes. These were like all the rage for a while when people first discovered them at the dollar store. And I don't like the envelope style. I don't like the flap keeps getting in the way. Alright. I also, we're getting down, on July 4th weekend, I worked a little bit on One Nation. I'm just going to hold it up like this. It's One Nation from Bygone Stitches. Oh, and Big Ass Sampler was a pattern I got off of Etsy. I think it's still available. I'm pretty sure it's still available. If not, I will let y'all know. It's from a shop called Crafter Dark. So I will link the digital patterns. I will link down below. The 2020 pandemic sampler. I can try to see about linking the Fox. I'll link the Fox and Rabbit website. Because they have a sale going on this year. That's free for right now until the end of the year. Any previous sales they had prior to this year, you have to pay for now. You can still get them, but you have to pay for them now. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's like $10, I think, for the previous year's sales. So One Nation, I don't know what to do about this one, y'all. I really don't. Let me move my needle minder. So I was trying to work a little bit on the stars. I did this up here, these 2 at the top up here, I did in the called for, which is Classic Colorworks Angel Hair, I think. Hold on, don't hold me to it. It was a called for Classic Colorworks. Classic Colorworks Antique Lace. That's what I initially started doing it in. Unfortunately, I felt like the stars were getting lost in the fabric. At least while I was looking at and stitching it. Like, it's showing up really good here on camera. But in person, it's like they're so light. I started doing it in the antique lace, and I didn't like it, so I thought, well, maybe if I get a brighter white. So I got regular, I pulled out some DMC, I want to say it was Blanc. No, it's B5200. That's the skein of thread I had to get at, no, I haven't done that yet. Oh, the skein of thread I had to get at Michael's was for the pandemic sampler. But anyway, I started stitching these 2 stars right here in the B5200. In person, I can't really tell the difference, but I think when I get ready to pick this back up again, I am going to frog out these 2 top ones and restitch them in B5200. Because, like I said, like in person, you can't really tell much difference. So if I'm going to have a brighter star, I'm just going to stick with the B5200. So, but that's where it's at now. It's just minimal. Like I said, on camera they're showing up really good, but in person they're way less noticeable. So that's where that's at right now. And this is on 40 count raw linen. I think, and that's by White Shelf, I think. White Shelter is Zweigart. Either way, I can never remember the difference between the two. And somebody was like, if it has the orange stitching on it, then it's Zweigart. But the thing is, I've seen like White Shelter have the orange stitching on it too. Have the card. And y'all are lucky, I don't always have cards. White Shelter. Yep, that's what I was thinking. 40 count raw linen. So, this will get put back on the shelf now. And this was a bag. I don't remember where I got this bag at. I'm sorry, I'm not one of the people that remembers things. So lately I've been pulling out something else. These are my current WIPs. These are what I have going currently. I decided I wanted to sit outside on the porch and stitch one day, and I just pulled this out. This is a stamped cross stitch, obviously. Supposed to look like this. And this I started on my way to StitchCon last year, because it was easy. I didn't need to look at a pattern, so I just started, and then it's this pink right here. So I had started like the kind of peachy color at the time, and since then I had done a little bit of the pink. And this darker pink is actually where these star symbol is. So I have a little bit more of that color to do. And then I can move on to another color. So stamped cross stitches are good for travel stitching, because you don't have to worry about looking at a pattern. The pattern is there on the kit for you, as far as what colors you need. So that is what little bit I've gotten done. I didn't get a lot done on that one. I got a few of those pink stitches in. I am going to keep this out, but I'm going to put it in the bag for now. I'm going to keep that on my cart. And my current WIP. Really? Lord. I don't know why this earring keeps falling out, y'all. But what I've been currently stitching regularly on is actually Mary Jane Fry. I got this was free when I got it, like several years ago. It's Mary Jane Fry from A Solitary Stitcher. This was mentioned on an episode of Fiber Talk years ago. And for a long time you were able to get it linked. It was linked through the Fiber Talk blog. But she is the Solitary Stitcher on Instagram. If you go to her Instagram, and I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but if you go to her Instagram, there should be a link somewhere, I think. But if you message her, there'll be an email, and she says now you can still get it for free if you want it, but you have to email her now. And she does ask that you maybe consider making a donation to your favorite charity in your name. But you can get it. You can still get it for free if you email her. And I'm going to take this top part off of the Q-snap right now. Guess I should take the side off too. I'm not going to take this completely off the Q-snap because I have this where I want it right now. But this is where it was at last time you saw it. And this is where it's at now. This is one of my Year of WIPs goals. As you can see, I am just about to finish joining up that border on the bottom, and it's going to match up. I hated having to start a new thread, because I just had to start a new thread, and that's why there's so much, that's why you see so much there, because I had to start a new thread for, that's what, 20 stitches, maybe 15. So yeah, but I did complete the top half. Top half is completely done. And so now I'm just going, I went ahead and made sure the border lined up. And once I get that done, I'm going to come down. I'm going to, since I'm on this side more focused, because in the Q-snap this kind of falls over the edge where I can't get to it. But once I match up this bottom, I'm going to go ahead and start and come and try to finish out the floral border. Plus there's like a border of like alternating X's. I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to bring this floral border down a little bit more. I might alternate. I feel like I want to alternate between like working on border and then working on inner motifs, which I kind of feel like I want to do. So yeah, this is where she's at now, and this is a focus on a finish right now. I know I still have a good bit to do, but I do want to get her done. And if I so decide that I just can't finish her, like I'm done working on her for the year, I do have other projects, which are either closer to being done, or I want to get done just as bad as this. So put this back on real quick. So yeah, that is that's where I'm sitting at right now on my WIPs. I know that I talked a lot in this video, but I worked on a lot, at least in these last couple of weeks, like maybe in the past month, is when I picked up my stitching more regularly, where I can stitch like every day or most days. I can't stitch a lot in the evening right now because my lighting is not great. We have weird lights in the living room, and I even mentioned it to Andy the other night that while I do have a lamp on my table on the side of the couch, it's not as bright as I would like it to be. If it was a little bit brighter, if it was a little bit better, then I could do some stitching at night. But for right now, lighting wise, I can really only stitch during the day, and that can be tricky with Abby. I do try to get in some stitching. Sometimes I can get in more than other times. It just depends on how she's acting. But I do try to get in at least a little bit of stitching every day, even if I only manage 20 stitches during the day. If I feel up to it at night, then I will try to stitch at night after she goes to bed. But during the day is my ideal time to stitch. So, but a lot of times, 99% of the time, by the time the sun goes down and Abby's in bed, I don't feel up to trying to stitch with the lighting that I have at that moment. So, but that's gonna do it, guys. Sorry I don't have any haul to show you. There are things that I've been thinking about ordering. Unfortunately, money's a little tight right now, but I am hoping to be able to buy some things someday soon. And if if I happen to be able to get a new lamp for stitching, I will certainly let you guys know. I will certainly tell y'all in an update. But as of right now, this is the craft room, and it is it's still being set up. There's a couple of desks. Obviously there's a desk here with his computer on it. There's another desk right here that he wants to use to be able to work on his figure models and stuff like that. Then we have this desk. This is the glass drafting table that we got, that I was going to use to do my diamond painting. And I still might. I'm still going to use it to do some diamond painting. But like I said, there's one specifically that I want to start. Even though I have others that I've already got on the go, there's one that I want to start, and I don't want to do any diamond painting until I find that one. So right now, I'm focusing on stitching. And I'm still going to stitch. But maybe at night I can come in and do a little bit of diamond painting at night or something. Yeah. So, like I said, we're still getting things set up. It's still in flux. We're still trying to figure things out. But this is our spare bedroom. This is probably where I will be doing my updates from now on. And I'm hoping, once I can finally get I'm hoping to be able to put some stitching back here so you guys can see it. I have a couple of framed ones now. But there are other ones that I want to get framed that I would rather hang up instead. The ones that I have now, I don't have them here. Ooh, I don't have them here on me right now. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere. But I have a couple of framed pieces that I rescued from the Goodwill. I just noticed something. That's not good. Sorry, I just know there's a vent right here on the floor in front of me. And I just noticed that the air is getting up underneath the carpeting. It's very cold. Oops. Sorry, I'm gonna close that up. So this will probably be where I put my updates from now on. And maybe if I can do any diamond painting, I will show you my diamond painting. But for now, I'm working on my stitching and I'm focusing on my stitching. So that's where we are right now in life. So I will see you guys again real soon. That's all I got for today. It's been so long since I've done an update. I just want to tell y'all all the things. I love getting up here and sharing my thoughts with you guys, because y'all are my stitchy peeps. Y'all are my stitching friends. But I'm gonna let y'all go. I've been talking long enough. I'm gonna get in here while they're gone and try to get some stitching in while there's still some peace and quiet. But I will see you guys as soon as I possibly can. Hopefully I can come back to you guys with another update in a couple weeks, or if nothing else, it'll be next month in August. Maybe I can make this a monthly thing. If not every couple of weeks, maybe every 3 or 4 weeks. We'll see. But I'm gonna let y'all go for now, and until I see y'all again, be good to each other, be kind, get lots of stitching in, and I'll see y'all later. Bye for now. Real quick, I wanted to also add that while I've been loving watching all the mid-year WIP parades, because it is WIP parade season, at least mid-year WIP parade season, I've been loving watching them. I'm a little late on the game because a lot of these have been recorded like a week ago or a month ago. I'm loving watching them. Unfortunately, you won't be seeing a mid-year WIP parade from me. I usually do my WIP parades at the end of the year. And as you can see, I have quite a few WIPs. I have something like 70 WIPs, which I am trying to drop that number as much as I can. But I just wanted to come in and let you guys know that I love the WIP parades, but I am a end of year WIP parade kind of girly. So, but keep them up. Love watching them. And if there's anyone in particular that you think I should watch, let me know. The longer the better. The longer the better. I love the 2-hour WIP parades or the 3-hour WIP parades. Love those. And those are good reasons. Those are good ways to get enabled to buy something. Lord knows I have found myself actually liking the Hawk Run Hollow designs, and I know those have been out for a while, but I've actually added those, the map of Hawk Run Hollow and the Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. I've added to my wish list on 123 Stitch. Or I will be. But yeah, loving the WIP parades, but unfortunately I won't be doing one until the end of the year. So keep them up, guys.